think it's awful. I think he is an awful person. Kenya and Portia are in the same goddamn boat. They were arch nemesis at one time. Portia at one time told Kenya, you'll never understand the convictions of a wife because you've never been married. Y'all act like this being married is this great honor when you're married to these men who ain't shit. It means nothing to be the wife of an ain't shit nigga. That don't mean nothing. That's nothing to brag about. That's not gang, Miss Portia. Mrs. Daly, y'all some damn fools. Nobody deserves that. Y'all both about to lose your fucking hair for a fairy tale. Girl, you don't get that shit out of here. Nene and Wendy get on the phone. Nene is talking about how she extended Kenya an olive branch, and in the next breath, she's talking shit about the girl. That's the reason why she don't take your olive branches, lady, because she knows exactly who you are. And it's so like, I'm extending you this olive branch, but it's not like you have cameras watching how you're talking about this woman. So there's no reason for Nene to think that Kenya owes her anything. You have to know when you go to apologize to a person, were you just talking shit about them to somebody else? Okay, are you really going to act like you're offended because she didn't answer it while you're talking shit about her to Wendy Williams? Nene's an asshole, always talking shit. And then she's so petty. You don't talk to bloggers. You're talking to the biggest blogger. Talking about Portia and Dennis. Oh, did I just drop some tea? I think they're working it out. You're talking to the biggest blogger, girl. But then you know, Wendy tried to get in a dig about plastic surgery or something like that. And then Nene said she don't have plastic surgery. Oh, girl, you tried it. Girl, you on your third nose. What the are you talking about? What are you talking about, Lanithia? Girl, I have so much more to go. Okay, what else happened? So the day of Mark's event, Mike and Cynthia are getting ready. Cynthia says she's going to make Mark a homemade salad. She's so happy to do these wifely things that your dumb ass going to say, you really like my homemade salads. Now, I know people say they make good salads. I make a good salad, but it's just the way that she said it. Like, oh, I know you really like my homemade salads. Girl, it's a salad. It's some lettuce and some vegetables. And some nuts and some berries, maybe. And some dressing. Girl, it's not a big deal. Mike was like, do you need some help opening it? Is this the salad that you was gonna, this is the salad that you was gonna make? Kenya and Mark. Kenya comes in with Mark's suit or tie options. He didn't like any of the tie options. He's making these strained faces. It's like a person who is uncomfortable with a camera in his face, because a narcissist does things. They don't want people to see them doing harm or gaslighting the other person. So him making all these faces to me was him not being able to control himself. It was very strange, all of the faces, all of the tics that he was having. I thought it was very, very strange. And I only attribute it to him being uncomfortable that we can see who he is. And I wonder if it's affecting his business and then I thought about it, like he really used those people like Dennis and Todd and Kandi. And I don't believe that. I mean, I really believe that they were used as clout. I don't know. I just don't believe that it's a real thing, or that Mark really has anything to do with it. He was just very strange. It was just very strange. You told me this morning. No, I told you 3 days ago. You just don't remember. That was in that small part is how is a demonstration of somebody who's being gaslit, is because you say what you know is reality, and they're telling you something else, and because you're afraid of the conflict, you just go ahead and agree. But I'm glad that she didn't. No, you told me this morning, and she said, well, hopefully you appreciate it. He didn't say thank you. I'm going to be honest, I don't like any of the ties. What do we have to match for? Well, we're a couple, we need to match. This is your event. And is that the dress that you're wearing? Yes. Oh, it's kind of sparkly, kind of flashy. Well, it's nice. It's pretty too, right? Yeah, but it's really not about the dress. This is more about the charity. Wait a minute, nigga. Did you just make a big deal about me getting ties for you? Dressing you? But when it's time to discuss my dress, now it's no big deal? And that's not about the dress? It's not about the outfit? Mark feels entitled to my help. I don't have any problems with it as long as I feel appreciated. I don't think anybody can disagree with that. I don't think anybody would want to do for anyone without feeling appreciation. Now, I know people say you're supposed to do for people without expecting anything in return, but no one is going to continue to do things for people and not feel valued or appreciated, or not get some expression. Even your fucking jobs do that. The places where you go to work, if you're doing well, they show you appreciation, right? Why shouldn't you expect that in your home? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's not that formal. He tries to downplay the event. There was a lot of people there. It looked like Kenya did a great job. It was a lot of people there. She had everything organized. They had a filet mignon and chicken option. She said it was $250 a plate. We don't know. And she asked about the seating chart. He made changes, and she said, listen, and I know what Kenya was trying to do. I don't give a damn what y'all say. I'm sitting the cast with each other because they don't know these other people. And I'm sitting the cast with each other, and I'm sitting Marlo and Tanya at another table right next to the cast members. These are not cast members. I know exactly what Kenya was doing and why she set Marlo and Tanya in the same place and didn't sit them with Nene, Portia, and Cynthia and Eva and her, right? Or her, and then you saw Kandi sitting next to Kenya, right? We saw that. We saw that I already know what she was doing, but then you want to mix these people up. So when you mix them up, because what I did notice was when she told Tanya that she had to move because Shamia and her man wasn't going to be there, and then they immediately show her saying, do you have someone sitting there? Because Kenya already knows, if you don't have nobody sitting there, and I told this lady that she needed to move because you have two people sitting there, it's going to look like I pulled some shit. Y'all need to go back and watch. I'm telling you, I watched it. Because she told Tanya, oh no, since Shamia and Gerard are not going to be here, whatever his name is, we are going to sit two other people here. Another couple. So you're going to sit right here. Here's your chair. And it was right next to the table. Right next to the table. Here's your chair. Oh, it's right here. When she sits down next to Mark, when he tells her don't get up, when she sits down next to Mark, he says, she tells him, did you have somebody sitting at that chair? Because just let me know. And then she tries to get up again, and he was like, no, just sit down, babe. Well, I'm supposed to be the hostess, and that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to be making sure. She was trying to do, I feel like maybe Mark was using Kenya's camera crew for this event, and you can tell that he was uncomfortable with the camera being following him. We haven't even got to the event. So she tells him about the seating chart. And I know exactly what she was doing. She starts grabbing her stuff, and you're going to start getting dressed before me? She's like, yes. All right, Chief. She walks in the door and closes the door. You hear her whisper, asshole. And that's how I was saying. I was like, he is an asshole. What you think? I got more shit to do than you. And then you just said that I'm meeting this person at 5 o'clock. We don't know what time it was, but the way that Kenya started grabbing her shit, it made it seem like it was not she was pressed for time. That's what it looked like to me. They get to the event. Mike and Cynthia get to the event first. Mark, and then they're looking like, well, where's Kenya and Mark? The guy says, oh, they haven't arrived yet. Okay, they're just standing around because Mike is the MC. He's hosting. Mark shows up. It was very awkward. They showed the cameras following him down the stairs. He seems very uptight. He seems very uncomfortable. He doesn't want to be on camera. It's very clear he doesn't want to be on camera. He walks past Kenya. He walks back past Cynthia and Mike. And Cynthia seems very annoyed. And to the point where she says in her interview, he walks right past us. I thought it was weird. He walked past us. Then he turns around. He's doing all this fake ass conversation with these random people he does not know and having these weird conversations with them. Yeah, man. Yeah, you really did well, man. And all this stuff. And then he turns around and is like awkward hug, awkward handshake to Mike, awkward hug to Cynthia. Then they ask, where's Kenya? And oh, she's getting glammed up. All right. Eva shows up. All I wrote is scenes and a $sign. That's it. So they're explaining the Black Man Lab to Mike Sterling and to Mike Hill. And he was like, it's very simple. It's just pretty simple. It's pretty simple. It's just, you know, black men being around other black men and, you know, having a place because da da da. And then he said something weird to Mike. Like, I tried to call you. And he's like, but I couldn't get in contact with you. Oh, man, I'm sorry. I didn't mean that, you know, this and that. But then he asked Mike to speak. I was like, why is he asking him to speak? Nigga, why don't you speak? Maybe he's not good at speaking. Maybe he has, you know, it's no excuse, right? Because everybody says trauma. There's no excuse for people who have trauma for treating other people wrong. Mark might have some type of social anxiety in addition to being a narcissist. He doesn't want to be around people. He doesn't do well with people. He does well with harming people one-on-one the way he does with Kenya. He doesn't do well with people around. He just seemed very awkward. The whole thing was really awkward. I don't even know why he asked Mike Sterling to speak, although he did very well. Kenya shows up. She calls him and says she's outside. Kenya shows up with a security guard. I don't know why. I have no idea why. Why do you feel like you would not be safe in this environment? This is a charity event. Why do you have the security guard, Kenya? They're following Mark around. Tanya says, unlike Kenya, I showed up because I'm not a petty Betty. I'm a higher, better person. I think that's the reason why people like you, is because they believe you are a higher, better person than Kenya out of your own mouth. You're higher and better than her, and you're not like petty Betty, but you're saying this. And I didn't even tell Paul. Okay, Tanya. It's my husband's big night, and this is Kenya. This is my husband's big night, and I just don't want to embarrass him. And they were like, even Mike was like, what? Like, it was just very weird. The table seating. Tanya and Marlo were at one table. The guy sings Amazing Grace. It was weird. The camera was on Mark for most of that time. As you can see, he couldn't keep his facial expressions together. He was very weird. He just looked very uncomfortable. I just put narcissist mask unveiled. Like, you can see the type of person he is, and he looks very uncomfortable. Marlo shows up with her nephews, and I don't care what y'all say. I do not care. As Mark was saying the call to action, Mark was called up there to talk about the Black Man's Lab. Marlo comes and she walks directly into the front of the audience while Mark was speaking. If you, now, slap me if I'm wrong, but I felt like that was Marlo's payback to Kenya more hair care. I'm going to walk right to the front with my nephews. No, and I believe that her nephews were used as a pawn. And I'm, like I said today, I'm just going to say it, because Marlo didn't think anybody was going to say anything to her with those little boys with her. You walked right to the front while Mark was talking. Kenya directs you back there, tells you where you're sitting. You intentionally misunderstand her, walk out as if you are going to walk away. You're causing a scene, just like she did at your event. Marlo didn't do what she did. That was on purpose. Then she walks and says, I'm not. She tells her nephews, you know your mic, you know they can hear this. Don't ever let anyone make you feel second best. Bitch, you are a friend of the housewife. You are second best according to this. You're the second best according to this setup. You are. You are. Mark doesn't mention Kenya. Marlo, I want to expound on that a little bit. Marlo walks down with her nephews. Don't let anybody feel you're second best. Cynthia, Eva, and Portia, get up to go see about Marlo. So again, Marlo did, I don't care what nobody says, that was payback to Kenya, and she paid her back. You walk to the front of the event, you walk out like you making a scene. The seat was right there next to Tanya. And Cynthia said you can even reach and touch Portia when she came and got her. So you caused the scene. You did it on purpose, and you did it to get back at Kenya. And you did it. Don't act like you didn't use your nephews as pawns. And then even using her nephews to ask, was the food good? Is it better than mine? Marlo ain't slick. I don't give a damn. And let me tell you another thing. Neither one of them owe each other anything. Marlo said the worst thing to Kenya. I can see why your mother didn't want you. I can see why you got to be some kind of person when your own mother doesn't want you. Would she like for somebody to ask her nephews that? You think your mother would take care of herself. Why are you taking care of your nephews? Would you like for somebody to come and ask those little boys, why don't your mama want you? Why is your auntie taking care of you? Where's your mama at? No, you wouldn't. But you use those little boys as pawns. She's the only one with the black son, with the black nephews and this and that. You brought two people you wasn't supposed to bring. Like Kenya said, you lucky you got an invite, bitch. You are a friend of the housewife, and I don't like you. So you lucky you here. Be happy and be charitable. Kenya, you knew exactly what she was doing. She's classless and this and that. No. She's getting back at you, sweetie. She's doing what you did to her. Exactly what you did to her. You brought a band. She brought her nephews. And if you say anything about it, now you're the bad guy because she brought her nephew. She got two little kids with her. Even though she caused the scene. She did exactly, that was payback. Anyways, Mark didn't mention Kenya in his thank you speech. Cynthia is not happy about it at all. Not happy at all about it. And you would think that this was the perfect opportunity to say how you value your spouse. But he didn't take it. Mike Sterling spoke. Greg speaks. He talks about, I put old pimp repeating Dr. Seuss quotes. That's Greg Leaks. An old ass, tired, broke down ass pimp who next season, if they ask Nene back, she'll be asking for sympathy when we find out that allegedly before Greg's cancer diagnosis, he was sleeping with another woman. Since you're on Watch What Happens Live and possibly produced another baby while you're on Watch What Happens Live saying, nanny, 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 my relationship is so good. Mark and Marlo come in contact with each other. And Marlo, see, this is what happens. Marlo, knowing how Mark treats Kenya, thought that she was going to stand next to him and talk shit about Kenya. While these cameras were right here, Mark shut her the fuck down and said, I'm not with the drama. He did the smiley face. I'm not, well, you know me and Kenya, I'm not trying to be messy. Well, that's exactly what you're trying to do. Well, did we have a table? Because again, That's why Kenya asked Mark, you got somebody sitting at this table, because if there's any seating issues, these bitches are going to think I did it. So that's the reason why you should have let me do the seating chart. You going to mess up this seating chart. You got people sitting next to people they don't know. They're coming to this event as a cast. They should be sitting at the same table. Tanya and Marlo, you sitting at another table within arm's reach of the other people. You're not too far. Well, was I sitting at the table? Mark shut Marlo down. Whoop, girl. No. I don't like drama. Well, and then here's Kenya making her rounds, talking shit about Marlo. That was very classless. This is a charity event. I am with Kenya saying, bitch, you be happy that you got invited. And then I paid $250 a seat, and you bring two other people. Now Kenya looks like the horrible person. When Marlo used those boys as a pawn, you was going to take them boys in the front because, see, she embarrassed you in front of your nephews. So what you was going to do is embarrass her with them in tow and dare her to say anything about it. Because if she does, now Kenya is this awful person because she's talking about these boys who don't have their mama, whose auntie is taking care of them because their mama can't take care of them. Mark says, get me away from this nonsense. Mark doesn't like to be around none of these women. I don't want to be around this drama. I don't like these cameras. At one point, he tells Kenya, get that security guard away from me. It's so invasive and it's obnoxious. I agree. The security guard was over the top. Someone who does not like to be in the spotlight. Mark clearly doesn't like. He's very uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable. Cynthia says something about Kenya having misplaced anger, and it's true. People who are in bad relationships have misplaced anger. Even children who are in bad relationships with their parents, they take their anger out on kids at school. They take their anger out on the teacher. They have behavioral problems at school because they can't fight with the person that their survival depends on. So they take it out on other people. That's what people do who don't know how to manage their anger. Kenya is doing that. She got an attitude with everybody. She's telling people, let me speak. Let me speak. You're going to speak. Why? Because she can't speak in her relationship. It's textbook, really. It really is. It really is textbook. Mark said he loves that Marlo brought the nephews. Okay, he loves it. I mean, it would be good if they weren't used as pawns. It would be good if she didn't walk up to the front. She did that on purpose. I don't care what y'all say. She did that on purpose. Nene makes a comment that says that whenever she sees Kenya and Mark, they are not lovey-dovey. And it seems like they have an agreement. Let me tell you something, Nene, Lanithia Monique Hicks. I don't know anybody who would make an agreement with someone to treat them like shit in front of their enemies. I don't know anyone who would pay someone to treat them like shit in front of other people. I don't know anybody who would be in agreement with another person to talk to them, talk down to them, belittle them, negate everything they say. I don't know any woman or man who would come into an agreement. What you should have said is, every time I see Mark and Kenya, they are never in agreement. Because when you are a partner with someone, you are in agreement. Even if it's in front of people that you don't like, that's when you're supposed to be in agreement. Whatever it is, y'all would have a fit if your husbands or your partners went against you in the face of your enemies. You would have a heart attack. But because you don't like this woman, as much as y'all call me biased, because you don't like this woman, you think that the behavior that she's being treated is justified because how she treated somebody else, so you're okay with it. When you know good and goddamn well that it's wrong. I don't know any woman who would sign an agreement with somebody. If anything, goddamn it, support, uplift, and encourage me. If I'm going to pay you, if we're going to be in agreement, nobody would agree to anybody treating them like shit on national television. Save me from the drama, he says. Kenya says she's looking around and she sees all the happy couples. They're showing everybody being happy. he says, she just seems unhappy. She's sitting there and she's just like, it really is a sad thing to watch such a strong woman be whittled down to, you know, this insecure person. And it's just like, it's really hard. There's so many people who have gone through that, who have whittled themselves down for a man, who have changed who they are so that allowing a man to influence them so much that they changed who they were. Then allowing yourself to be gaslit, then allowing yourself not to say, you know, I don't want any conflicts with this person, so I'm gonna just do whatever. But that's gonna stop. Mark says to product someone that he doesn't like to be married. If you can see how far he was from Kenya, I don't know if she heard him. Word on the street that she heard him. Word on the street is that there was a big scene caused at that production. Maybe they'll show it at the reunion, but that's a word on the street that Kenya caused a big scene at that place, so much so that Mark had to apologize, and he turned the comments off. He apologized but didn't even mention Kenya once again. He says, get the cameras out of here. Okay. Dude said, okay, I got it. I don't care what you got. Now he's flexing, right? I don't care what you got. If you're not out of here in 5 minutes, it's going to be a different conversation, whatever the hell he said. And he's so cognizant of him being on camera, he doesn't even use fuck. He says, I don't give a F, because you know you still on camera. You know you still might. You got that much sense that you don't cuss, but you threatening these people to get out of here. That's someone who is not okay with their mask being removed. And then they show a thing with Kenya saying and Mark saying that they're separating. And the next episode is going to show them talking about the situation. And then Marlo saying, I don't know if I can't bring it up. Again, they don't know. I don't know why anyone expects anything out of Marlo and Kenya. I don't know why anyone. Let's see. Any other notes that I have that I didn't catch? Kenya isn't the only woman who has entered into a toxic marriage or with a man for the sake of having a fairy tale. Hell, Portia is about to do it. It's not just Kenya he hates. He really hates the drama the cast of all the women bring. You saw how he shut Marlo down. He knows exactly what he's doing. Nothing. And then Nene and Marlo get on Watch What Happens Live and says Kenya's name 29 times. The show is 22 minutes. You can't tell me Nene's not pressed. Nene talked the cash money shit on that episode of Watch What Happens Live. So I hope she doesn't get to the reunion and says she doesn't have a problem with Kenya, because it's clear that she has a problem with Kenya. And Marlo was just sitting there nodding her head and then made a suggestion that Kenya paid Mark to be at his own event. You're tired. You're through. Marlo, you are so tired and whack. And I know, I don't care what y'all say, Marlo used them little boys as pawns. She did. And I knew it when she asked the little boy, how's the food? You looking for anything. So you're going to use that little boy instead of saying it yourself? You're going to use him? And he was like, oh, it's like yours. She was like, oh, good. 50-50, okay, good. You wanted him to say that it was nasty so that you would have something to say. And the food was nasty. Nene keeps saying to Kenya, we're going to get you. That's what she was saying last night. And if you notice, Kenya didn't tweet last night, but she was trending. She was trending. Like I said, remember that episode of Watch What Happens Live when Nene says she doesn't have a problem with Kenya. And if you have ever been extended a branch that you didn't take, I wouldn't take a branch from Marlo. I wouldn't take a branch from Nene. But I believe that Kenya has an issue with Tanya as far as the competition thing, but she don't have to worry about that because Tanya says she'll never take a peach. But Tanya, you don't act like you're better than Kenya. Don't say that you're a better person, because a better person would have kept that bag of hair in it. All of this is happening. All of this, y'all not doing. Kenya is not doing anything to Tanya. And Tanya is not responding. She's responding. She's not defenseless, as Mark told Kenya about Nene. She's not. But I did notice how she was treating her at the baby shower. Taunting her the same way Nene was taunting Kenya. Kenya was taunting Tanya. Anyways, I've been on here way past my time. Y'all have a wonderful day. Take care of each other. Get down in the comments and talk about it. Talk about how your opinion about the show. Talk about what you think about the show. What you thought about how Mark treated Kenya. Did anyone else think that Marlo brought those kids and used those kids as pawns to get a payback? I'm telling you, as soon as I saw her walk to the front, I said, oh, you know what you was doing, Marlo. Anyways, I'm out of here, y'all. Take care of each other. Peace.